What's up, self-healers? Lisa Lightfeather here. Welcome to my channel, Closing the Gap, where we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and spiritual journey. Today I have with me Christina of Metaphysical Medic. She's the owner and operator of
CEO and founder, yes.
The CEO and founder. So tell us a little bit about what it is exactly that you do.
I really appreciate you asking. You know, this place is something of a spiritual muse type of energy that calls people in, and they honestly a lot of times don't know that they're being called, or they don't know what they're listening to. Mm-hmm. The medicine and the environment here calls people in that feel they want to be here. And that generally means that they're going to be impacted by healing or be impacted by the products. Mm-hmm. So when they come in, their eyes are wide, they don't know what's going on here, and they're like, who are you? You got a tattoo on your neck, you know? And they just
what kind of healer are you?
Yeah, so they wanna really, they have to be kind of guided mm-hmm. into what will eventually be a very pleasant experience, a very lifting experience for your first introduction to the Ayahuasca Caapi Vine mm-hmm. with some patent pending products that we've innovated over the last year.
Yeah. So I guess like all things on this journey of healing and on our spiritual journey, we are always led by a higher power. You know, whether we realize it or not, we can look back later and be like, oh, that's why I was there. And so you feel like your clients are being led by a higher source? Yeah, because...
even if that higher source is fear,
mm-hmm.
yes, they're being guided by something. Either they have a knowledge of ayahuasca, or just intrigued. They're like, what do you mean ayahuasca's in this store? Shut up.
Yeah.
And then you have others that just happen by and they're going through some troubling symptoms or diagnoses that they have to deal with, and mm-hmm. they've exercised other options, and they're willing to try anything. Thus fear has brought them in the door. And then you have others that don't have access to care, any medical care. They don't have insurance, can't afford to go to the hospital. Mm-hmm. So the holistic remedies are very attractive to them.
Absolutely, yeah. So could you give my audience, your audience, a little more information about what your overall mission is? What is your vision with your business here?
I am. I'm sure everybody knows we're combat military women, mm-hmm. and the things we've seen have inspired us on our own journeys. And my mission came from the fact that I'm a military medic, and I have been a healer for 20 years, or 30 years in the VA civilian systems, the DOD, the Department of Health and Human Services, and ERs, all of that good stuff, mental health hospitals, and the symptoms are all the same, and they are life-ending a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So with that, when I was impacted by grandmother ayahuasca, when I went to go meet with the Native American Indians, mm-hmm. it showed me a healing potential that was stunning, mm-hmm. absolutely stunning. And so I demanded to know how to bring this back to people who need it, mm-hmm. you know, and
but they don't necessarily have access to it, but they need it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, they either they don't know they need it because they don't have access, they don't know about it, mm-hmm. or they want to try it but don't know where to go, mm-hmm. right? Or can't, or don't want to do anything illegal, etc. So to have a hands-on approach with someone holding the sacred space and helping guide them through something they're going to eventually take home, mm-hmm. and learn to use at their own discretion for their own symptoms or for their ascension goals.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. So I know when we're on our spiritual journey, we receive downloads that can be life-changing for ourselves. It can be life-changing for the community if we listen. So did you receive the download that you needed to work with the Caapi Vine and get the Caapi Vine out to the community? Did you receive that in a dream while you were singing with ayahuasca? How did you get this idea?
It's yes. Yes.
Yes.
Downloads. And I'm not a scientist. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an inventor. But in trying to figure out how it works as a medic and a minister, to find out how it impacts the patients to help from which types of diagnoses. And even if it's just you had a bad date, to divorce, or mom died, or whatever else can come to pass.
Trauma.
Yes, that don't necessarily require a diagnosis or medical intervention. It's just a space in time in your existence that you can absolutely utilize the support of grandmother Caapi energy, and that same download that you get, that people are looking for the ayahuasca full ceremony. So that with the consciousness of the Caapi Vine, she can still supply those aha moments and those changes in health perspectives over time that will essentially convince the receiver that, hey, this is what I want to do. This is not what doctors are telling me to do. This is not what I feel like society wants me to do. This is, I am integrating with myself. She's helping me see my own truth, and she's empowering me to do what I want with it.
And given the courage to do it as well. And so the Caapi Vine, and some of your products that you have, because you have smokables. Do you have edibles, or you just have smokables, oils? Edibles is the oil, right?
The oil is the topical application. The edibles would be the concentrate.
Okay, we'll get to that, the products. But so your products can be used during as a meditative practice. And what I hear being said is, you're saying that what I hear being translated is that when you sit with the Caapi Vine, it opens you up to downloads during your meditative practice. So it can tap into your gifts, it can tap into ideas, it can tap into spiritual growth, it can tap into healing.
The oil
Self-healing
is actually called ascension oil.
Okay.
So and it all depends on the user and the intention, of course. So if you're looking to, like, the oil is what we're talking about here. I'm gonna zoom up on that so you can feel the frequency of it. And what this does is, depending if you have symptoms, if you have stress symptoms or PTSD, then you're just going to use it on your third eye chakra. Now you can use it everywhere, on your throat chakras, you can use it on your heart chakras, you can even use it on the reproductive system when you want to celebrate bodies.
The oil feels amazing. It's very smooth, very light, almost like a sesame oil.
It's very light. It's very comforting to smell. And the feeling that you get, now you asked me how it came up to do this. And I was helping a Marine that had sexual trauma by way of hazing. And so that Marine, we were
which is, excuse me, but it's quite common in the military to experience sexual assault. Like, a lot of the people who have PTSD from the military, people automatically assume it's from combat, but a lot of the PTSD from the military is from sexual trauma. Yes, which the military is currently getting a grip on, but it's a process. Yeah. So this Marine had experienced sexual trauma.
Yes, and I was helping him experience the dry vine, and he had a moment, and he had a download, and he told me, he opened his eyes and said, "Doc, I just had a vision." you got to put that shit on your forehead. Real talk. And I was just like,
so that vision came from one of your clients?
Yes.
Oh,
and I was
also,
like, on my forehead, Marie, I was like, it's not a cucumber, my dude. It's not avocado. It's not lemon. Any of the standard poultices or anything that have a topical application. No, that's like taking a piece of grass or a stick and putting it on your forehead. And I don't see that application. But I'm a teacher, and so I said, okay. And I put the raw vine. I licked my finger and put the raw vine right on my third eye, and wow, there was a topical application that could not be denied immediately. So with that, I took it to the highest rated apothecary in the region in San Marcos, and then I asked her to make me an oil. So it is the ascension oil, the anointing oil that she came up with. And the impact is phenomenal, to the point that this clinic was built because of it. Was initiated because of it. In the back, we take the receivers and we put them on a biomat.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, because I know that you do more than just work with the Caapi Vine. Like, the Caapi Vine is your signature mark. It is what the Metaphysical Medic.
It's the cornerstone.
It's the cornerstone.
Yeah.
But you also offer
Light
other
work.
healing modalities.
Yes. I'm a master light worker of 25 years.
I've actually sat with you in your medicine. I've actually laid on your bed. I've actually had my chakras balanced and had some work done with you. So you have magical hands. You're amazing in your healing modality.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, we want to let the community know exactly what you offer outside of the Caapi Vine. So
there are over 30 years of treating folks. There's a lot of those golden nuggets that you discover in your career that just, where they can be used and why. And so I have a satchel of these nuggets that I use whenever I'm confronted with a patient prototype. And I can really see them very specifically now, after this much time of having only a few minutes to deal with somebody and give them my best, right? So things like mushrooms, your superfood mushrooms, and how they just...
And we're not talking psychedelic mushrooms right now, we're talking superfoods. Okay.
Right. So it is a natural anti-inflammatory that impacts sufferers of chronic pain in amazing ways and immediately. And not only that, but offers so many other healing attributes that it's like it's a no-brainer. 2 teaspoons of the superfood mushroom mix in your oatmeal, in your coffee, on your salads, and ground your meat, however you're going to use it, will dramatically decrease your pain. When you have pain that's decreased dramatically, guess what is also affected? Depression.
Oh yeah.
You have a comorbid diagnosis that lifts. You have stress as a result of premeditating the pain that you're known to experience historically. That lifts. So it really is a gateway. If you're looking for a gateway, a mushroom is a gateway that just influences so many parts of the body with just them. You don't have to go and take Toradol for pain and anti-inflammatory and take your Tylenol for sleep. You don't have to take none of that because you solved it at the root.
Yeah.
Right? So it's that, in addition to like little nuggets of frankincense. We're military persons, and a problem that has always been in interacting with the male is they snore. They snore,
and some women.
Yeah, but when we're sleeping together in our tent type scenario, that snoring can disrupt an entire unit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So frankincense, a couple drops, coat it, and my snoring was gone for months with one application. And it was just like, that's gold.
That's good information, yeah.
That is gold.
I've never heard of that.
Hiccups. You have a little packet of regular granulated sugar. You have hiccups, put it on your tongue. Immediately. You know?
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
There's so many more that are just fun to talk about. But for me, the value is in the utility, the healing utility.
Mm-hmm.
So the Caapi Vine will impact trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It'll impact your mind. It's a neuro rehabilitator. So my patients that come in with head trauma, with TBI, they come in with dementia, they come in with Parkinson's, they come in with Alzheimer's. All of those things can
And you've worked with all these clients with these ailments.
Yes, yes. And all of them will say, yeah, I have diagnoses of poor memory. That's has an anxiety root cause. So for my memory to come back was the premise for it coming into the clinic. None of the things in this clinic have gotten past my biological self and not impressed me substantially. So my patients, they don't like to take Western medicine, they don't like to talk about it, and they demand results because you only have their attention for a little bit. They have jobs to do, they're providers, they don't want to dwell on the fact that they're not at 100% at all. They don't even want to admit
They
it.
don't have time to dwell on it, especially
Right.
if they're active military or they're on the police force or they're a fire guard or they're
Fireman,
a fireman or whatever they're doing. I've heard you mention that part of your mission is assisting the first responders.
Yes, yes. And to bring Caapi into the mainstream is to really validate the fact that she is absolutely legal across the nation and across the globe. Any country that differentiates the Caapi Vine from the ayahuasca ceremony have legalized the Caapi Vine. Right, so under that, we pull it in and utilize the antidepressant natures, the neuro salvatory natures, and the cardiac also has a fantastic, aside from helping the heart to open and release that energy. All of my patients have gone to the doctor and said, hey, doctor, should I take this? I met this little Latina girl named Christina that's selling ayahuasca out of the thing, and she was really compelling. And the doctors always say, no, I think you should stick with your standard, what I'm doing for you. I'm not going to second guess my own prescriptions of you by telling you that anything natural is better than what is not. So if anything natural can support your symptoms, there's no need to bring alien toxins into the body, right? When you have specific circumstances and difficult circumstances, schizophrenia, suicidality, yes, you're going to need that impact, that Western pharmaceutical impact.
Western medicine has its space. We're not saying that Western medicine is just totally negated, but what we are saying is that there are so many natural healing modalities out here
that are being ignored.
Yes.
By practitioners who just pump society full of what they think is best. Granted, they believe that they're helping, and they are, if compared to nothing else. But to bring nature, this is God's medicine for us as divine beings experiencing this life. It is left for us and should be free for us to experience and heal thyself when we are able, before interacting with other professionals to help us along when we can. So the Caapi Vine is granted at a very low price point. It's granted without a prescription, and it's granted without having insurance. So, or travel, or having to take weeks off, or being subject to ridiculous expenses for trying to find ceremony.
Yeah.
So, and in doing so, it really can open the door to the magic and the blessings of the full ceremony, but at the same time meet the patient's reservations if they're dealing with substantial traumatic dumps, if they're dealing with credentialing that doesn't allow them to do anything illegal due to your analysis, or they are just looking for healing. They're not looking for that aha moment. It's like, just please help me. That's what we're looking for. And it's those persons that are generally not on SSRIs, so it makes them the perfect patient group in addition to those that are on parole, right? That can't de-stress with marijuana and don't want to toxify their body with alcohol. Grandmother Caapi, a very, very, very important point to make is that Grandmother Caapi will not trigger your analysis, and she will not change your sobriety date. Not at all. You can depend on her not to be a drug or have those interfaces, but instead a natural form of dopamine that is not illegal or even questionably illegal in the United States. And it doesn't have a psychedelic impact that doesn't make you high. It is simply makes you it grants you the ability and personal autonomy to be happier. Not only to be happier, but to connect with people that you think anywhere in your tribe that needs, that could use, that would enjoy that support. Our elderly, those that are infirmed, those that are going through social difficulties, they're stressed over losing a job, their wife, they see that their wife is beat up over the kids. Rub this oil all over your wife's body and tell her how grateful that you are. That woman's entire perception is going to change for the better. Happy wife, happy life. So to bring dopamine into your tribe via the beautiful medicine that this world has to offer in Grandmother Caapi Vine has so many possibilities and potentials when moving into the main sector.
Absolutely. And so this place is really a hidden gem here in the Killeen, Texas area. And so it's just absolutely amazing how this Caapi Vine has found its home here for now. We did want to emphasize that the Caapi Vine is legal, which Christina has already mentioned. You would agree, as a medicine woman, as a healer, that plants have spirits, that plants have energies, that plants are intelligent.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, you have different levels of clients. You have clients, like you said, the first responders, and then you have clients who may be interested in the actual medicine of ayahuasca. And then you have clients who know ayahuasca very well, and they may be interested in the Caapi Vine and the products that you provide as an integration tool. Because as we know, the integration of ceremony is the most important.
Yes.
The integration is where the work starts. So your first set of clientele, which is your vision, which is your mission, but you also know that even in your vision and your mission, that you will attract a wider span of people. So the first set of clientele that you have translated to me is that it's the first responders. You want to help the soldiers because we are prior veterans, we're combat veterans. We know what PTSD is, we know what military trauma is, and we have healed ourselves. And so you want to take that gift and you want to provide it to the soldiers and the first responders. Your second set of clientele may be people who are interested in grandmother ayahuasca with the trachuna leaf, right? They may have to go to Peru and do it because here it's illegal. Would you agree that this may be a gateway? Because we know that the plant is intelligent, because we know that the plant communicates, that it has its own energy, would you agree that it's a gateway to open the door to invite someone to be attracted to the medicine of ayahuasca?
Yes, and that's without even using it yet, without even experiencing it.
If they're even drawn here, yes, she's already speaking to them.
That's exactly right.
Got it.
When someone approaches me, even if it has nothing to do, even if they don't know that I'm a healer, and they...
How could they not?
I mean, they will, if they don't know about the ayahuasca, they'll gravitate.
If the flesh doesn't know, but the spirit knows, yeah?
Right. So I'll tell them, what it is that I offer, and we'll bring them in, and we'll give them a free experience with grandmother, and they can leave with that, or they can purchase and take her home, because one of the most important aspects of plant medicine in general is integration.
Integration.
And so what some of the shaman have begun to do is ask me for the Caapi Vine products so that they can send it home with their receivers.
I think that's an amazing idea. Like, that is top-notch care.
So you can integrate, you can assure that patient integrates, even if they integrate with themselves and grandmother on the post.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult when you can, it's all that you can to bring the receivers in, get them medicated, oversee the medication, kind of wrap it up and close out, and then they're gone back to their 3D experience. And that experience doesn't always negate the maintenance of that healing. So you go back into your spaces, go back in your relationships, go back into your previous vibrations, and fall out of the ayahuasca vibration. So what this does is it allows for you to continue your discussions, and continue your healing, and continue your
connection to the plant.
Yes.
And it's nothing addictive about it.
Nothing.
And so it's just the integration. Like you wouldn't say that someone would have to, like, integration only lasts for so long. Because even after we sit with the medicine and we integrate, we have to go back to our normal lives. Like, we can't stay in that space forever.
We'd love to, but
oof, wouldn't we? We'd love to. And as you're integrating, things come up. Trauma may come up, pain may come up, anxiety may come up, things that you need to see. The shadow may come up.
It will come up.
It will come up. And
if
so
you're doing it right, it will.
Yes, and so there needs to be work done. And always on my channel at Closing the Gap, we emphasize shadow work. We emphasize inner child work. Like, we're big on that because we know that is the primary thing that's going to seal the work that you've done in your healing. Yes. So some of your products that can help with the integration. Now, we've already covered that you help the first responders. We've already covered that you help people just called in here. I would like to really kind of tap into the integration of it, because some of the products that you have that we can use for integration, you use these products across the board for all of your clients. But it's important that they know all the aspects that it can be used. But for my channel on Closing the Gap, I have a lot of followers who actually work with the medicine. And integration. Integration is very important to me, and it's very important to them. Can you share with us your products now? Let us know how we can use each product in our integration process.
I sure can.
Okay.
Let me grab the smokable real quick.
She'll be right back. So for those of you who are just catching in or tuning in, I'm here in Killeen, Texas at the Metaphysical Medic shop, located on
W.S. Young Drive.
Yes.
2006 W.S. Young Drive, Suite 52.
And you can always Google it, yeah?
And check my reviews, 5.0. If you want a better understanding of what people experience here, they've blessed me with some deep reviews about how the sessions have left them. And we also have a YouTube channel, Metaphysical Medic, on all platforms. And
you, I overheard you mentioning that you might be considering opening a shop in Austin.
Yes. I'm missing a lot of the order captures by not being here, and Austin is where I started.
Okay.
So they weren't happy when I left, but they will travel. I've heard Austinites won't travel, but they definitely come here.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll start with the smokables. Actually, the oil we've already talked about. So there's two strengths. This is the ascension oil. It is the extra strength, and this isn't meant for full body coverage. It's too strong. What you're gonna do is put it on your chakras. You're gonna put some nice music on. I like to cover my eyes because you can literally see a story
unfold.
Yes, especially when you add the concentrate under your tongue, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and the oil. I mean, you're really being intentful about how to use grandmother if you're looking to spiritually ascend. The Marines that I've talked to are like, It feels like she gives you rails, Doc. And I know exactly what they mean. Rails as in ascension rails to take you to that breakthrough space instead of you having to try and take that out of your mind, clear your mind. I can't do this. Don't think about that. You gotta, and those with symptoms or anxiety symptoms, it's very difficult
or ADHD.
to do. Yes, it's very difficult to do. So this helps the lame person be much more successful at meditation than they have been otherwise.
Got it. Yeah. Wow.
Now, when we move past there is also the body oil, which is the lower strength, and that's what we use for the full body immersion under the massage in the back. So for the chakra balancing and to kind of set the stage, she really helps to reduce the client's anxiety and allow them to connect to spirit, which is where the work is done.
Yeah.
I maintain the sacred space while you're under, give you the medicine so that you can join your creator.
I can attest to the full body oil. I've like I said, I've had some work done with Christina, and she used the full body oil. I actually purchased a bottle to take home myself, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I get out of the shower, I'm just like, shh.
And honestly, the concentrate I put this on my bathtub when I sit, and just a little extra information, I harvest the rainwater to cleanse thyself, and I add 3 cups 4 cups to my bath water with your clearing salts, and then this will be right on and you're just going to drop that in there. And for the feminine experience, especially if you endure motherhood or high stress situations, I am a bath person, and to celebrate with grandmother in the bath is something that
takes a spiritual bath to a whole new level.
It does. And it takes your relaxation from that bath to just in another space, especially if you add the spirituality of the cleansing intention of the rainwater.
For sure.
It's wonderful. But this concentrate is the newest development of Metaphysical Medic, and what it is it is our edible. Now, edible meaning we can take it and put it right in the coffee, maybe 3 to 5 drops depending. You cannot overdose on Grandmother Caapi. In the event you took this whole thing, this is meant for like a month, but in the event you took this whole thing, you might get a little bit of a headache, right? So it's and you're not going to have any depending on what your intention is. If you want to meditate, if you want to chant, if you want to play your drums, if you want to dance, if you want to do any of those things, I do take boluses of these and go enjoy myself. Absolutely. The therapeutic dose to feel her is only a few drops under the tongue, or in the coffee, your water, your smoothie, your ice cream.
We're having some now.
Yes, applesauce. For your elders that have stress because they can't use their body like they would like to, they've lost their independence and they're upset that they have to sit in this chair and watch Donahue.
Is Donahue still a thing?
I don't know, but I was for my grandma, But so
next slide.
So with that, just a few drops of this in their coffee in the morning of your elderly persons, it changes the frequency for their entire day also, taking away their stress, making them happier in the skin that we're all in, and to really do it in a very safe and secure and subtle way. Okay. I've also found that, ayahuasca is indicative of diarrhea, right? But with the microdose, there is a lovely softening of stools that you are very in control of, and it's lovely to just release what no longer serves. No tension.
So it helps with constipation.
It does.
And to emphasize, to be clear, that ayahuasca is indicative to diarrhea. What Christina is referring to is that when a person sits with the actual medicine of ayahuasca, they go through a purging process. They may or may not go through a purging process. One of those purging process is releasing the bowels. Okay, so that's what she's referring to with the that ayahuasca is indicative to diarrhea.
Yes.
Yeah?
And for our geriatric population, generally they're on a lot of medications that cause constipation. So it's something that they deal with that it will increase their stress, increases the stress of the family. Or do you have to go? Or you have to go? Or we're going to sit on the toilet. We're going to sit on the toilet with you for 2 hours while your body figures out whether it's going to release or not. So a lot of those different issues or experiences, grandmother just relieves organically.
So we had the ascension oil, which Christina so eloquently explained what it was for, and then we have the concentrate, which is an edible. You can put it under your tongue, you can put it in the coffee, you can put it in anything edible, yeah. And so we're actually having some of that right now in our own coffee. And so let's move on to what you have in regards to what's next.
Well, one of the main breakthroughs for our younger receivers, those that don't resonate with the smoking, which is, aside from the oil, the rollable was the first product that came from Metaphysical Medic.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a zen.
That's what her name is, yeah. And what that's going to do is it's a copy. Go ahead and smell it. Tell them what it smells like. Right.
It smells like tea.
Right. I mean, it is a herbal blend of specifically chosen herbs. Rose petals, raspberry leaf, eucalyptus, mullein. Mullein is actually a respiratory repairer. So those
it heals the lungs.
Yes. So it was put in there specifically.
Oh, let's also mention that mullein gives you vivid dreams.
I mean, it helps you out.
So apparently it clears up the third eye as well, the pineal gland.
Out. Yes. And so all of those, if I put it on tobacco, I'd have to mess with the Department of Alcohol, Firearms, and Tobacco. So I don't want to do that. But she does go beautifully on tobacco and on marijuana. Now there's a perception that marijuana and ayahuasca are conflicting sisters, that they don't get along.
Well, marijuana is more of a masculine energy.
The shamans have said, they don't. They're sisters. They don't talk to each other like that.
Oh,
that's right. And so
they're karmic sisters.
Yes. And shaman have told me, well, the smoking marijuana will get in the way.
Marijuana is a feminine energy.
I'm not sure.
Mary Jane. Yeah.
It's always, but I didn't know if it was just the Western. Western calls everything female.
I'm not sure.
Because they're a masculine culture.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it feels like a masculine.
Okay. But I guess that's irrelevant to the actual.
Yeah, but the only, what I've resonated with was the shaman that said, Christina, if they grow together, then they may be together.
If they grow together, they go together.
Yes. And so I was like, that really resonated with me. So I don't, as far as healing, the reason why it's a point to be made is that everybody already has their own medicine that they take, whether they consider alcohol medicine, where they consider pharmaceuticals medicine, mushrooms medicine, even just herbs as medicine. Everybody already trusts their medicine. Tobacco, marijuana, all medicines that people already take. So what we aligned with was the ability to add grandmother to whatever you already trust, so that you can integrate her in much more quickly. So if you're looking to quit marijuana, or you're looking to quit tobacco, she will help you by making your experience better, but at the same time changing your health perspective of your medicine and why you need it, and you will organically gravitate away from it if it's your intention.
I like that. I like how you integrate the Caapi Vine with different medicines.
Meet them where they're at.
Meet them where they're at.
Yes.
That's boots on ground. Meet them where they're at, where the rubber meets the road.
Yes.
That is such a beautiful mission. Being boots on ground is always closest to the client. I will mention though that you probably will hear that again, that if you're interested in sitting with grandmother ayahuasca, you will hear that again in regards to mixing the ayahuasca with the marijuana. Yeah.
And a lot of shamans will not allow it.
Like they don't necessarily vibe together. Yeah. And the experience of marijuana can negate your experience of ayahuasca. So if you're looking to sit with ayahuasca, we encourage you to give the marijuana a break. Yeah. But so we have the oils, we have the concentrate, we have the Zens.
Before yes, the concentrate.
Does the Zen have Caapi in it?
It does.
Oh, so the Zen has Caapi in it.
All the products have Caapi.
Okay, so
yes.
we have the Zen cigarettes, or the Zen smokables,
and it'll give you about 15 minutes of Zen. And you can, if you want to increase that medicine, you just take off the filter. And you can have control over the medicine you take. Now, this is wonderful for those military or paramilitary fields where smoking is a thing. And to be able to de-stress during duty is a thing. Otherwise, you're taking it home to your wife, you're getting out of the military, and you're going through all this stuff now. So to integrate from military experiences in and of itself is necessary. To integrate with plant medicine is necessary. So that's why these products were kind of dedicated to me as an ER person, as a first responder, frontline medic, that my first line responders have access to this care. Even if a 100% chronic PTSD experience walked through the door with his wife or husband, then what I would treat the spouse first, regardless, because it is the support system that needs to be strengthened for the day-to-day support of that veteran. That veteran will be seen after the family is healed, and they will be seen for the duration. And it's the same with these products. To support the supporter is what she's meant to do, in addition to supporting the injured or the unhealed, because everybody can benefit from joy. Everybody can, whether you're the injured or you're not. Mm-hmm. Even if you're just hearing the cries of the injured, it is stressful.
Yeah.
So to help the family to deal with those energies in the transition is hugely important. Hospice is one of my primary intentions right now, to bring grandmother into those in transition.
That's very 8th house. You have 8th house placements?
I don't know. But yeah.
The death doula.
I mean, it is.
But you have right next door here, you have a cremation and burial space.
I do.
So that would be something very interesting to incorporate.
That I market in. So them dealing with depression from a change in life or losing their partner or whomever can come here and get support and that same integration from that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So there's so much. So we have the Zen smokables, we have the ascension oil, we have the concentrate. And
what we didn't go over with the concentrate was the fact that it's the newest innovation in the ayahuasca hookah.
So, and we have the hookah.
So the concentrate is added to just your standard vape fluid. So if you already have a mod, right, you would just take a few drips. You would have your standard vape juice, whatever it is that you're currently using, and then you would just add a few drops, just a few, because to vape the medicine is its own experience, and it's I don't want to say potent, but it's impactful with just a little bit. So I would say in a mod this size, I would start with 3 drops, right? So to change this into an ayahuasca, this is an ayahuasca hookah. This is the medicine that's already in here. What it's meant to do is meant to give someone the opportunity to medicate during the day for stress symptoms. Now, this isn't meant as the inventor. I did not invent this as to be used like a nicotine vape. Not at all, where it's throughout the day. This intention is more like an albuterol inhaler, where you medicate when there are symptoms, or to change your frequency in the morning, or to worship, meditate, pray, dance, sing, whatever, in the evenings, but with intention, because you can't, as someone who vapes, you use your vape all day, regardless of what you're doing. And if you're drinking, we do not want you to mistakenly hit your ayahuasca vape while you're experiencing alcohol.
Well, ayahuasca has a history of taking the taste of alcohol out of one's mouth. Like, ayahuasca has healed several people who've had alcohol issues. So, will the Caapi Vine alone do that?
Yes, she is absolutely. The intention of the hookah is to reach those that aren't interested or don't resonate with herb smoking, right? So the younger generation that's like, I don't want that, but I still have trauma, or I still have anxiety, or I still want to learn about ayahuasca. So what this was innovated for were those that are like, Christina, one of the first things you said, I cough easy.
Yeah, I don't inhale. I don't inhale a lot unless I'm working with tobacco.
Right. What was your
and then
experience?
I don't inhale it. Then I just hold it in my mouth and blow it. Use it as a tool. But I did try this, and I'm going to try it again. But it's very smooth, like smooth. It has like a bit of a sweet taste, but it's very smooth. Well, what I like about your products is that that it's geared towards what's going on in the community today.
It meets the patient where they're at.
It meets the patient where they're
I'm
at.
going to have to ask you not to consume alcohol with any of these products or street drugs. You know, if you're looking for a sobriety or healing from whatever imbalances or experiences in your environment, then what I want you to do, even if there's SSRIs that you've been asked to take or what have you, is to celebrate with grandmother first in the morning and help her naturally help you with those symptoms and that baseline frequency for the day. Now you don't have to fear grandmother if you are subject to alcoholism. Now you can utilize her, and I'll tell you a quick, alcohol depletes your dopamine. That's what makes you feel drunk and tipsy or happy. So grandmother increases your dopamine, which is responsible for your sentiment of emotional health and wellness.
Your happiness.
Right? Your happiness, your joy. So to take them together, to have a beer with this is going to contradict. And that contradiction feels terrible. It is sweaty. It is like feeling your head, you feel like you want to pass out. All of those things is a serotonin syndrome. So that serotonin syndrome is brought about by other variables that are in the body that are impacting either your dopamine consumption or dopamine creation. So we want to stay away from, if you're going to smoke your Zen, smoke it in the morning with your coffee. If you haven't taken alcohol or anything like that, or street drugs, anything like that, feel free to experience her all day. But you can also, she will help you if you are in addictive spaces, to give you the confidence, to give you the awareness, and to give you the stability in self to avoid toxic cycles that you jump to because you're not satisfied or you're impacted by stress or impulse thinking that is catapulting you towards negative relationships, going to negative spaces, consuming negative things, giving your attention to 3D vibrations. So in order, if you know, like for me, having suffered with PTSD symptoms in the past, if I know that I get up, I have my coffee, I have my cigarette, I try to maintain my stress levels throughout the day, but it's a thing not to pop off, not to get myself into trouble, not to get fired, not to just say, you know what, I need a drink, right? Because I've been through all this shit. I've been through it all, and that's what we're trained to do. So it is that sentiment that beats us. By the time it's gotten that far, you know you're going to go get that drink. Historically, that's what you know how to do. It's how you know how to medicate. To top off your dopamine reserves in the morning keeps that entire frequency from coming into your experience by preparing yourself. So if you have more control, like, hey, I'm not having to bind myself and my reactions from everybody because I feel good.
And so let me say something. So let me ask you something. So you have actually worked with recovering alcoholics or
in acute
addiction.
Inpatient status,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So she knows what she's speaking about when it comes to that topic. She actually works with recovering addicts of some sort on some level.
And published on 3 different research projects out of the Department of Veterans Affairs in Waco.
Okay.
So for PTSD and alcoholism in particular.
Okay.
So
and trauma.
I mean, the PTSD is the trauma.
Oh yeah.
And
the alcoholism,
right,
equates to got it.
And same with chronic homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
So chronic homelessness is a devulsion.
A trauma all its own.
Yes, because there's the trauma that keeps someone in a cyclical experience
Mm-hmm.
with regards to substances, and it's that cyclical experience that's just going to hammer you down and
Mm-hmm.
down and down until you can't take one more kick in the throat.
Yes. Let's try the hookah.
Yeah.
And then because I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we're gonna have to, and so I don't need to light it or anything. It's just
right. It is electric. This is not it just came out, and thank God, because I don't know anything about that other stuff. When my product line came out, this was on the shelf, and I was like, man, that is a no-brainer.
So I'm going to emphasize that I am not a smoker, and anytime I try to inhale anything, I choke. So I was sharing that with Christina, like, you don't really want me to hit that because I'm probably going to go into a coughing frenzy. But it didn't happen. It's very smooth. So
I told her, try me. Just try me. And it is, if you can, because the different products have been innovated to meet the needs and reservations of different patients. If they like to smoke, if they don't like to smoke, anything, if they are okay.
It's very smooth. It's like inhaling water or inhaling air. It does have a taste. It kind of, maybe it's psychological, but it reminds me of ayahuasca.
And the oil.
Yeah.
People say, Christina, I was immediately taken back to ceremony.
It does. It takes you back to ceremony. This would be a great integration tool to have. Do you sell the hookahs themselves, or would one have to buy their own hookah and then get the oil from you?
I try to keep all.
And this isn't any vape or anything, right? This is just pure Caapi, or it is. Okay.
Yes, it has the. Well, we need the vape juice. So if you put just the Caapi in here, it's not going to be able to process through the vape mod.
So this would be for someone who's already vaping.
Yes, or if they like to inhale medicine but smoking's too rough, or they've got diagnoses where they can't smoke anything anymore. So to give them options, we have options of the pre-rolled hard smoke, we have the vape soft smoke, we have Caapi capsules that you can take, we have the oils. Any way we can beat anyone's reservation.
Yes.
We can beat anyone's reservation, and that's why these products were developed exactly this way, to meet as many people as
possible.
we can and make them as comfortable in accepting
Whatever because I would like to take the capsules, or I might take the drops. The vape, because I'm not a smoker, I don't really want to do that one, but there's some people that would love that. And I'm not a smoker, and I enjoyed the vape, but I know that that's not something that I would be interested in on a daily basis. But I would take the capsules or the drops. Christina, thank you so much for everything that you do, for all of your beautiful products that you've created, and for meeting the people where they're at. It means so much. It means so much. And for offering the spirit of the Caapi Vine, offering the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca, boots on ground.
Boots on on
You
ground.
can't get closer to the people. If you know anything about the military, when we say boots on ground, that means we are right there. We're in the thick of it. And Christina is boots on ground. So, hey, check out the Metaphysical Medic here in Killeen, Texas. You can Google it and to find the address. This is Christina. She's a medicine woman. She's an amazing healer, and she's an amazing inventor. So,
same with this one. Same with this one.
Hey.
You guys come out. My phone number's on the window. If you want a consultation, give me a call. We'll set up an appointment, and then we'll get you experiencing grandmother with no cost. It'll be up to you if you want to take any of the products home, but just to experience. Go ahead and come down and get some healing.
oh yeah, come out and get that no cost try. I mean, I think that's an amazing thing.
This is right in the lobby.
It's right in the lobby. Thank you for tuning in to Closing the Gap. We make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. We'll see you next time. I love you, sister.